It's Canada's favorite tight end, Luke Willson, for his weekly visit from the Luke Willson mansion somewhere in the greater Toronto area. Luke, great to see you, pal. The Bills. What can you say about the Bills? Well, what can you say about Josh Allen? Let's look at it. Kind of an up-down season, but he beat Lamar Jackson week 1. He beat Patrick Mahomes week 9. Now Joe Burrow comes to town on Sunday, and Josh Allen's never beaten Joe Burrow. 0-2 in his career against Joe Burrow. Do you believe that Josh Allen's going to have to air it out against Joe Burrow, or can they ride James Cook in that run game like they did last weekend against the Steelers?
Jay, to be honest with you, I think Josh can air it out, but for me, the best case scenario here, again, is to go to James Cook and control the game on the ground. Okay, what you don't want to see happen if you're a Bills fan is the shootout between Joe Burrow and Josh Allen. And you might win, but you might not. And that's the situation where you want to come out here and you want to limit Joe Burrow just time on the field. So come out here, establish the run, get this down, wear down the Cincinnati defense. If Josh needs to make big plays, he can do that. If he needs to air it out, he can. But let's have these long, sustained drives and help your defense out. You know, then all of a sudden your defense holds Joe to a field goal or gets a stop, and you get back on the field. You have another 6+ minute drive. And now Cincinnati is playing from behind. They become very one-dimensional. That would be the easiest way to win this game. So, again, if it becomes a shootout, they can definitely still win. But in my opinion, it's not the most efficient way of going after this W.
All right, the biggest game of the week, Luke, might be Thursday night. Detroit Lions, Dallas Cowboys. Lions are a 3-point favorite. It's a must-win for both of these teams. Now, we're not sure if Amon-Ra St. will play. He has a sprained ankle, hasn't practiced this week. Luke, do you believe the Lions have what it takes offensively to keep up with the Cowboys without their top wide receiver if Amon-Ra St. doesn't play?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, obviously having Amon-Ra St. would be a big help. But the reality is Jahmyr Gibbs, and I'll put David Montgomery in there, are two phenomenal backs. And you go back to Thanksgiving, they're playing a Packers defense who, in my opinion, is extremely elite. And as much as this Cowboys defense is improved, it is not the Green Bay Packers defense. That's just a fact, Jay. So you want to talk about offensive firepower, run the football, run the football, run the football. I still have a ton of faith in Jared Goff, especially in those play actions. You saw Jameson Williams start to get loose and kind of take a bigger role in Amon-Ra's absence. This team has weapons, and it starts with their run game. If they can get this, push this Dallas front seven around, which I think they definitely can, Jahmyr Gibbs starts going wild. That's their best shot at beating the Cowboys. And like you said, this unbelievable offense the Cowboys have rolling right now.
And Luke, the Ravens and Steelers face each other Sunday. It's a game that could go a long way to deciding the AFC North. We talked about how bad Pittsburgh's offense was Sunday against the Bills. Aaron Rodgers was calling out his receivers post-game. He actually addressed that on Wednesday, Luke. Take a listen to this.
During the week, we have our meetings on Thursdays, and I meant that everybody come there with an open mind and be self-critical and work on the things you got to work on and let's get better. As far as any off-the-field stuff, I'm not going to talk about any of that. I mean, there hasn't been a ton of opportunities. There hasn't been a ton of open guys down the field. It comes down to having a plan with your release at the line of scrimmage, run the right route, and then me making the throw. And sometimes it's been a combination of any of those three that's caused it to go wrong. But, I think if you look at the tape overall, there hasn't been a ton of opportunities in general to take those shots. And until we run the ball consistently every single week and get some more single high, we're going to win in unconventional ways.
Really feels like Aaron Rodgers is definitely not pointing the finger at himself in those statements. Do you believe your guy, your boy, Aaron Rodgers, do you believe in him enough, Luke, to think he can pull this offense into the postseason?
I do. I'm not sure if I believe in the entire unit, but I do think Aaron's got enough magic left to get it done. And I'll say this, part of why I say I think that he can get them into the postseason is I haven't been impressed with really anyone in this division, including the Baltimore Ravens. So this is one of those games where, Mike Tomlin usually finds a way to split with Baltimore. I feel like after last week, the team as a whole kind of hit rock bottom. You got Hayward, arguing and talking about getting kneed in the stomach. The Bills ran all over them, setting record numbers against that defense. Aaron's offense looked horrid. Sometimes when you get punched in the face like that and you have these kind of moments, it can reset. And the reality is for Pittsburgh, they control their own destiny. And it starts with this weekend, and I do think Aaron will come ready to play. I don't love the secondary for the Ravens. I think Aaron's going to have some opportunities here. Will they capitalize? I guess we'll have to find out, Jay.
Man, the Steelers really need this win. And if they get it, that means that Mike Tomlin would move into a tie for 10th all-time in NFL head coaching wins. Luke, we'll see you after the Thursday nighter. Can't wait.
Can't wait.